What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're talking about the KIZUNA Clash, which is going to be going live tomorrow, as of this video going live on the YouTube channel. Make sure to get your teams prepared. Remember that every single KIZUNA Clash from this point onwards is considered a Pirate Alliance KIZUNA Clash, so keep that in mind. Make sure to work with your alliance to grind as much as you possibly can. And also, this is going to be a big KIZUNA for Global in general, just due to the fact that all of the previous Super Evolutions that Global had yet to receive, Pudding, Jack, Carrot, and also Brook, all of those characters are being pushed to Global in this KIZUNA Clash. So make sure to get farming, get all your characters super evolved, and then we'll go from there, right? So before we get into this, shout out to Pyroman for compiling all this information into this visual graphic. Makes it a lot easier for talking about it rather than looking at game width, for example. But let's have a look. Let's start things off with the DEX variation. Once we go through this, we'll actually talk about a free-to-play team, and then my team that I'm going to kind of work on towards, the start of this KIZUNA Clash. And things may change as things progress, but let's jump into it. Versus DEX variation. Stage 1, you want to be building a team of Fighter, Free Spirit, and Cerebral characters. Those are the characters that receive the -15 cooldown at the start of the quest. Remember though that there is a boosted list of characters and they typically receive 10 to 15 turns of additional cooldown as well, so keep that in mind. Stage 2 versus Luffy, a strength boss, 2.5 million health, preemptive attack, 4 turns of special bind to your right hand side of the team. So if you do have a unit that gets rid of special bind, either put them on the right hand side if they've got the crewmate effect to get rid of it, or if you have a character that removes it but doesn't have a crewmate effect to get rid of it, definitely put them on the left hand side of the team. But after turn 1, they're going to swap your captain for 3 turns, so you definitely want to kill in 1 turn. If you don't do that, it's going to make it a little bit challenging from there on out, so keep that in mind. But then you move on to Ivankov, the final boss versus Ivankov. You got full immunity, the blowaway immunity, grey shield, which is the health cut reduction, normal attacks only, and then 5 turns of special bind is inflicted to your left side of your team instead. So you got the right hand side with this, and then the left hand side with stage 3. All of your slots are changed to badly matching as well. And then you've also got some additional effects that will occur. After level 31, 8 turns of despair to your top row, and 1 turn of special bind is added to the withstanding special bind, which means in total it is 6 turns of special bind. So there's going to be a couple of characters that you can use in order to get around this, but basically, to just sum up this fight, is special bind and changing slots from badly matching into matching, and then also you need a despair remover. Those are the key things that you need in order to get through the DEX Ivankov fight. Alright, so this is the free-to-play team that we have suggested here, with the access of Vivi as the friend captain. Vivi as a friend captain is very recommended for this, or just as a captain in general. So if you were lucky enough to pull her recently, it makes your life a whole lot easier, because her captain effect resists 10 turns of special bind, and her herself is boosted in this KIZUNA, so she's going to have increased statistics, she's going to be doing more damage. Plus her special ability is great, giving you a full board of matching slots and giving an orb boost to your strength, cerebral, and free spirit characters. And even if you've got a better orb boost, you could go ahead and use that instead, and then use Vivi to extend or just to buff that orb boost that you would receive from that character. Just Vivi is definitely recommended here. But with this team composition, we're running a full strength cerebral team with Stussy as our free-to-play captain, because she's a 3.75 times captain, and she does provide an effect of either giving you color affinity or boosting color affinity. So you can have Jinbei to go ahead and give you a 2 times color affinity to your strength units, then use Stussy to go ahead and make that color affinity from Jinbei at 2.25 times 1 instead. You've got the Doflamingo and Treble, which can provide a chain buff. Now we've also got Inuarashi or Dogstorm, who will give you an attack boost, but another thing is he removes 5 turns of despair. So after level 31, this guy not only removes the despair, but providing the attack boost for your team is great. And then Hawkins is like a filler unit, you just need a strength cerebral unit, of course. And then you've also got the super type special of Vivi, which you typically use on stage 2 just to help you get through that fight a lot easier. Now this is the team that I'm thinking of using for this quest. Now it is a little bit of a weird one, but I tried to use Bon Clay and also Buggy, because both of those characters provide the ticket boosts, which are very, very useful, of course. So I'm using Kaido here because I'm mainly using him as a strength captain. So he will boost strength characters' attack by 5 times in their dual form, of course. And remember, he doesn't actually receive cooldown in this particular quest, but we can use his super swap effect to give him max special, which makes it so much easier. So we can start start him off as a quick unit, and then switch into the strength unit later on in the fight. Now on stage 2, we are going to get special binded on our right hand side for 4 turns, so we can just use the switch effect, as I said, to switch into the strength version of Kaido, and then that will remove his own special bind, and we'll use his special later on in the quest. But then we can use Toki on stage 2 on the 2 captains to remove the despair that will be inflicted to us on the final stage, and then we can have the huge attack and orb boost for these 2 characters as well. Mr. 2 is going to be nice because he actually removes all turns of special bind for our crew as well, so we'll be able to use that to unlock our Boa Hancock, which can give us not only a chain boost or chain lock of 3.5, but it boosts the base attack of free spirit characters by 1000, which means that Mr. 2 is going to be hitting extremely hard. So unfortunately Kaido will not receive that, but his special ability, we want to use that on the first activation of stage 3, because it gives our strength characters a 2.25 times color affinity boost. So they're going to have a lot of damage here with the chain lock, 1000 base attack on this guy, 2.25 affinity, and a 3.5 attack and orb boost for these 2 characters on the top row. This should be lasting a pretty long time. Obviously the damage is a bit skewed because there's the map effect for KIZUNA is not active. This guy, Mr. 2, will be a 5 times captain for Rainbow all characters during this quest, so keep that in mind if you want to team build around that, which we'll be looking forward to in this video. So let's go ahead and have a look at the strength variation now. So this fight, just strength decks and quick characters receive the cooldown. This is a lot easier to team build for, so that's a nice change of pace. Stage 2, we've got Jinbei, int character, 2.5 million health, preemptive, 2 turns of special reverse are dealt to your crew. That is pretty annoying. I absolutely hate special reverse, and we have to deal with it here, which is not fun. It does not happen to your captains though. It is only for your crewmates. And I think ideally what you're supposed to be doing here is, if you have 6+ Carrot, you would be using her as the captain, because you can use her special to deal with that special reverse. And yeah, you can definitely just use Carrot as a sub. That will also work, so keep that in mind. Stage 3, Ivankov, strength variation of course, full immunity, blow away immunity, health cut reduction, normal attacks only, and then as for regular debuffs here, we have the top and bottom row will be binded for 7 turns, so keep in mind if you've got your full tomes, full sockets, it's only going to be 4 turns of bind to your top and bottom row, and 5 turns of damage threshold, which again is why Carrot is more recommended here, because she can just bypass that with her normal attacks. And then of course after level 32, 4 turns of paralysis is also inflicted to your team, and the threshold, instead of being 5 turns, will be now 6 turns post 32. So pretty annoying stuff. Basically bind, threshold, and paralysis that you have to deal with, and also special reverse if you're dealing with the stage 2 stuff as well. So let's go ahead and jump over to the free-to-play team for this time. Alright, so this time we are building around using a friend captain Bon Clay to get the most ticket boost that you possibly can. So we are using Kuja Pirates as our captain because Shooter and Free Spirit works very well with Bon Clay, who is a rainbow captain during this event, but his special ability provides color affinity to Fighter and Free Spirit characters. So building around Fighter and Free Spirit with Mr. 2 Bon Clay definitely is more ideal. Now, dealing around the special reverse, we have this Onami and Orobi because they actually resist 2 turns of special reverse, and we can just use their special ability on stage 2 for an orb boost, and that should be fine. So long as you have like at least a couple of orbs, you'll be fine. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad, especially the fact that Mr. 2 is going to be super effective against all types, especially if you get a matching slot for him. You just will absolutely destroy stage 2. And then in terms of getting around the damage threshold, Mr. 2 removes all of the damage threshold even post level 32, which is great. In terms of the bind and also the paralysis as well, is this buggy. If we've got a Free Spirit captain, he changes all of our slots to matching, and he also removes 5 turns of bind, despair, and paralysis. Like, actually the perfect unit for this quest. And then we have a full board of slots. We'll have an attack and a conditional boost with the Kuja Pirates. We have the color affinity via Mr. 2. And then this Lucy was just a free-to-play Free Spirit character that provided an orb boost. Of course, if you've got summonable units, you definitely use them instead. But in terms of free-to-play, this should be doing a pretty good amount of damage. Obviously, we can't see the actual damage numbers, but seems pretty good. In terms of what I'm aiming to build for this KIZUNA clash for the versus strength variation, I'm using versus Ace. Now remember, versus Ace as a captain completely ignores the special reverse that we're going to be dealt on stage 2. And then we've also got Sugar, which is a bit of an interesting choice. I'll talk more about her in a moment. But on the final stage, we have to deal with the threshold, which of course Bentham, Mr. 2 gets rid of. He also gives us color affinity for our Free Spirit characters, which is our entire team, aside from Sugar. We've got Kuja Pirates for an attack boost, as well as the conditional boost. But we've also got Buggy here, who's nice, because obviously ticket booster, but he actually gets rid of the bind for the top and the bottom row. But then also Sugar. Sugar provides the Toy Soldier effect for all the characters. We're going to have Orb, Chain Boundary, because I'm using VV support on Ace, so he's going to get a strength slot when we reach the final stage, guaranteeing the Chain Boundary effect to activate, Color Affinity, Attack Boost, Conditional Boost, and then via using Sugar, not only do we get more damage, but it means we don't need a Paralysis Removing special ability, which actually gives us really good damage. Remember, this is not including the stat boost from the KIZUNA itself, and it's not including the 5 times Rainbow Captain that Bentham would typically provide. So this is going to be doing a lot of damage in this KIZUNA. So now we can have a look at the final battle versus the Psy variation. This time you have to build a team of fighter, driven, and powerhouse characters. And remember, it's ideally an int team you want to be building. Int characters that are fighter, driven, or powerhouse. We got a Dex boss for stage 2 that will apply a 2-turn, 2-hit int slot barrier. All slots are changed to poison slots, and you are given poison. So pretty straightforward in terms of getting around this fight, which we'll talk about in a moment. But for the final battle versus Ivankov, defense down immunity, delay immunity, blow away immunity, HP cut reduction, normal attacks only, and then you've got resilience, 5 turns, as well as a full board of block slots, and then after 33, I think it's only level 30 actually, but 4 turns of defense up is applied, and an additional turn of resilience going up to 6 turns, right? Now, this final boss looks pretty annoying, but it's actually a lot easier than you think. And then also battle 2, you know, of course, you just have some type of effect to remove poison, gives you a full board of matching slots, and then you ideally want to be running an int team, which allows you just to get through this stage super easy. So let's jump over to a free-to-play team for this fight. So this is the team that we have versus the Psy variation for free-to-play. We're using this brand new Halloween Robin. For those of you who don't know what her captain ability is, gives the attack of cerebral and fighter characters 3.75 times, and after 3 perfects, it becomes a 4 times boost. So that's a really good captain effect. As long as we're building a team around cerebral and fighter characters, we're going to be okay. Remember that fighter characters receive cooldown at the start of the quest. So all these characters are fighter characters, aside from Buggy. He's not boosted by Robin's captain effect, unfortunately, but it's not that big of a deal. We have a lot of good damage here. We've got Mr. 2 Bon Clay, of course, because on the final stage, he's going to give us color affinity, but he also removes the 6 turns of resilience as well. Makes it so much easier. We have Rage to change the block slots we're given into matching, as well as giving us a guaranteed 1.75 times conditional boost against poisoned enemies. You can use a poison conditional boost on this quest because the enemy does not have like full immunity or poison immunity. Because of that as well, you can actually use Yamato to inflict increased damage taken, change block slots into Wano, so keep that in mind. And then also Big Mom is just a filler unit, you know, she's just an int stat stick, an int fighter character that you can just use for damage. Pretty nice character overall. Smoker, Orb Boost, and Chain Boost. Orb Boost is specifically for fighter and driven characters, so works for the whole team, which is really good. In terms of damage, don't really see a problem with this one. This should actually last quite a long time, and because Robin is a cerebral character, you actually can use the Liberal Hind ship as well, because, you know, it's not a Strength Dex or Quick Captain, you can't use the Shark ship, so you got to make do with what you got. But in terms of damage, this is a pretty good free-to-play team. So this is the team that I'm thinking about for the versus Psy variation. So of course we are going to be having the support of Shiryu once again on either Yamato or Caesar, doesn't really matter which one, just to allow us to get rid of that poison on stage 2, and because we've got at least 2 int characters, we can break that barrier and kill off that stage. Now we are using Toki on stage 2 as well to ensure that our 2 captains are avoiding debuffs, but mainly just to give them that huge attack boost. Their special ability will be able to provide the color affinity for themselves as well. Buggy is able to remove block slots as well. We have the conditional boost from Caesar using one special stage 2, the other one on stage 3 to get a 1.75 times conditional boost. Yamato changing block slots to Wano, very good, as well as applying increased damage taken to the enemy, giving us a huge chain boosting effect. This team is going to do a lot of damage, and it's awesome that they're using double Bon Clay, so you don't have to use the shenanigans of finding friend captains, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty awesome team. Can't wait to use it. And that's going to bring about the end of this video, and of course, when the KIZUNA Clash does go live, we're going to be going ahead and making the videos with my free-to-play teams, as well as my own personal teams going through this content, and if, you know, I come up with any other team ideas along the way, I'll make sure to upload those along the way as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, get a little bit of insight as to what's going on for this KIZUNA Clash. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.